Hiya, sexy biscuits. So today, something amazing happened, and we got our first look at Mafia 1 Definitive Edition gameplay. And I've gone over this footage with a fine-tooth comb, and I wanted to give you my thoughts and impressions. I always say to you, I want to be as honest as possible. So there are going to be positives and negatives in today's video. I think before we dive into this completely, I do want to ask you to comment down below and tell me what you guys thought. I know a lot of you were massive fans of the... Oh, hang on, I have a phone call. Hello?
Hello, Tommy. It is I, Don Salieri.
Oh my god, it's Don Salieri from the hit game Mafia.
It is I, Don Salieri.
I know who you are, Don Salieri. Why exactly are you calling me?
I, Don Salieri, am calling to tell you that you are now free to release your gameplay of Mafia.
Right, well, I'm under NDA with 2K, not you, Don Salieri. Hang on, have you told other people it's okay to release their gameplay?
No.
Ah, that could explain a lot. Well, it was lovely talking to you, Don Salieri, but I better get back to my video, you know, on time as opposed to a day early. But first, I've got to say, Hangar 13, good God, does this look good. This looks incredible. And I'm not just talking about graphically. Graphically, this looks phenomenal. From the very start, I've said that this game would look like that original trailer did, and I'm not wrong. It looks beautiful. And as Hayden says here,
we wanted to bring the city to life with as much detail and atmosphere as possible, so we built the game on our proprietary technology, but added a number of new audio and rendering features, including a brand new lighting engine for the remake.
They are going to be using their own proprietary engine, and the lighting has been completely overhauled and looks beautiful. It's kind of weird, most of the footage we've seen of this game so far has taken place either at night or with rain. All I want is to see this game in bright daylight. I want to look at all those tiny little details that nighttime and rain kind of hides. I want to say a massive thank you to 2K and Hangar 13. They provided me with this footage yesterday, and it's given me a little bit of time to look through it. Now, that does not mean that I'm being paid to say nice things, although they did send me some jammy dodgers, and very nice they were. I want to go over a couple of the things that I could see as negatives. I played Mafia 1 for the very first time 3 months ago, and I have fallen in love with the game. I had previously played Mafia 2 and 3 to completion, and I absolutely adore Mafia 2. It's in my top 10. So going back to Mafia 1 was really interesting, and I think I've gained the appreciation for this game that you guys have been talking about the entire time. Mafia 1 did something incredible back in 2002, and when a new remake of your favourite game comes out, it can be quite worrying. You don't want them to ruin the experience, of course, but times have moved on in the last 18 years since Mafia 1 was released, and things are different. And that's blatantly clear from the footage that we received here. Most of the footage that you've been seeing in the background, and I'm going to be talking about, is from a trip to the country. And that's what we're going to be using to kind of contrast and compare. So I want to go into my first negative. I'm not too big on there being such a prevalent UI. In Mafia 1, there was barely any UI. When you were on foot, you had your health bar, and that's it. There were no mission markers telling you where to go. There was no mini-map. There was no directions at the top left-hand corner of the screen saying, this is your objective, do this. But in the case of the Mafia Definitive Edition, this is the case. I think there's this worry with the old-school Mafia fans that they're worried that this game will be dumbed down. And I think that the UI that they currently have is a step in the wrong direction. And I will explain my thoughts on this so I can make my point. So here we have the mission, a trip to the country. You're seeing the original Mafia 1 version of this mission. So let me paint the scene for you. You arrive on a farmstead. Paulie and a couple of men stay behind in the trucks. You're here to make a deal, and the men you were supposed to meet haven't shown up. So you alone get sent into this farmstead to find out what's going on. The entire time this is happening, you're walking through this farm. It's pouring down with rain. The only sounds you hear are the raindrops hitting the roofs of the nearby barns. there's this dread. You don't know what to expect. You don't have a minimap. You have no objective on the screen. You have no weapons showing in your inventory. You're alone. And then you stumble upon a truck. Now, that's an intriguing moment. This is one of the trucks that you're supposed to be meeting up with. So of course, you head over there to find out what's going on. And out slumps a dead man. There was nothing saying, check out the truck. There was nothing pointing you to the truck. You had to find that out for yourself. But it wasn't to the point where that would have taken you ages to discover. Mafia 1 was blatantly designed to flow well. There's always this forward momentum. So I want to compare that scene with the Mafia Definitive Edition. So here we have Tommy making his way into the farmstead. And the first thing I will say, the farmstead is a lot smaller now. There's not nearly as many buildings. The massive barn is nowhere to be seen. And you have a mini-map, you have your weapons on the left-hand corner of the screen, you have an objective at the top. And the objective is to search the area, which was previously made obvious by Paulie telling you that. Once you turn this corner, the truck will then get highlighted. Search the truck. Well, yes, we would be searching the truck, but we would be making our way there and discovering that naturally. Why do we need to be told to search the truck? As a player, you'd be doing that yourself. A lot of games nowadays use map markers and they tell you where to go almost constantly. Look at a game like Skyrim, for instance, you will always have that marker on your screen telling you where to go. This doesn't work for a trip to the country. Recently, I started playing Far Cry Primal, and that game has the ability to turn off the HUD entirely, and it's a fantastic experience. You have to hunt and survive by yourself using your own wits, and I love that. And I think that's a perfect example of how this should have been done. I really hope there's some option here to turn off the UI. I will say though, the mini-map is going to come in incredibly useful during driving, because driving in Mafia you had to constantly pull up the map in front of you. So this of course is a fantastic addition, and I'm really happy they have it. Unfortunately, I can't see enough of the minimap in the video that I have here to be able to tell if enemies are going to appear on this minimap. Are enemies going to be marked? And if so, is there any way that we can turn this off? The brilliance of Mafia was the fact that you were thrown into these situations and you had to strategize and you had to think quickly, you had to think on your feet. And if we're told that enemies are going to be behind said door, that won't really work. Now, this may be a small thing, and I'm completely aware of that, but I think over this last 3 months of almost completing the game, I think we've only got a couple more episodes to go, I have really fallen in love with the design of the original Mafia. And I know for a fact that a lot of hardcore original Mafia fans will find issue with this. So I wanted to bring this up and make my point here. Now, does this make this a bad game? No. I still am incredibly excited to play this game. I just wanted to bring this to the attention of Hangar 13 as kind of a request. Please add the ability to have this so you can turn off the HUD. So back to the positives. I'm going to say right now, gunplay looks fantastic. They seem to be using the Mafia 3 engine here, and yeah, if you've played Mafia 3, you know that using a shotgun in that game is a ton of fun. Enemies will go flying backwards, is brilliant. So yes, they are definitely using the best engine in terms of combat that the series has seen. And I'm glad about that. Something that could definitely be taken two ways is the cover system. I know personally I don't mind cover systems. I've loved cover systems since Kill Switch back in 2004. But playing Mafia 1, of course, so recently, I've loved the ability to hide behind anything without the ability to just snap onto it and be safe forever. I like in Mafia 1 that you actually had to take cover, and that cover was never safe. That was up to your judgment. And this seems like it's a middle ground. You do see that cover can be destroyed, and I like that. But I'm hoping that in instances when you're up against walls, you aren't completely safe. Because as they say in this video, Mafia was an edge-of-your-seat experience. The fact that you could die at any second. The original Mafia was incredibly realistic in terms of combat. Like, you could get killed in a couple of shots if you weren't careful. And yes, that could be annoying, but that's part of that game's charm. Whether you love it or hate it though, the cover system, in my eyes, is absolutely fine. And this seems to be using a similar system that Mafia 3 was, in terms of blind firing as well, which is a nice addition. So obviously, they've redesigned the entire level. So there's no point in me comparing the original to the new one in that aspect, of course, but I will say that first aid placement is definitely a lot more prevalent in this. I do see a lot more first aid boxes than in the original level here. We have one right next to Sam, and if you look down the ladder, there's another one right there. So you do have health a lot more available to you. I'm thinking there's no regenerating health, which is good. That's how it should be in Mafia. I'm glad they've kept that. The one thing I will point out is the ammo box. I didn't expect that, to be completely honest, but there it is. The original Mafia, it was a risk-reward system. If you ran out of ammo, you would have to run to an enemy, pick up their weapon, try and reload it, and then fight back. But now you can just go to an ammo box and replenish. And this is something that I personally am okay with. I find you ran out of ammo pretty damn quickly in the original Mafia. But for some people, I'm assuming this may be a bit easy. I'm hoping those maybe could be turned off if you play on the hardest difficulty or something like that. So I wanted to quickly talk about character designs. Yeah, they're great. I really like Paulie. I think he looks way more unique than the original Paulie. I think the original Paulie, he looked quite generic. Like, there was points where I was mixing him up with other characters. He didn't have a distinctive look in my eyes compared to this Paulie. He was very distinct. He looks, I'm guessing, like his voice actor, and that's really, really cool. I think they have based the faces on their voice actors, and I think that the designs here are really nice. I'm gonna stick by it though. I still don't like Tommy. He's become more generic action hero than random taxi driver. He doesn't look like our original Tommy, and that's the only design here I'm not big on. Annoyingly, there was no car gameplay in this video. We do see some shots of the cars, but unfortunately we don't see any of him driving himself. Although I will say, motorbikes, oh yes, they got re-added into the game, because in the original Mafia they were implemented, or were going to be implemented, and I don't think there was enough time. So they were cut content, and I think it's fantastic that Hangar 13's got them back in the game. And I can't wait to ride a motorbike in this game. I want to see the car handling. I'm hoping it's like Mafia 2 was, where you could turn on simulation mode. Even Mafia 3 had a similar thing where you could turn on the simulation mode and you could throw these cars around the corners. It was so much fun. My only negative with Mafia 3, and it's something that I asked Hangar 13 to change from the very beginning, I really hope that the police don't pop your tires instantly. Because in Mafia 3, in that game, car chases were rendered completely useless to me, because any car chase you got into, within about 5 seconds, your tires were popped. So you couldn't have any fun in car chases. I'm really hoping that isn't the case in this game. I understand in that game there was an upgrade for bulletproof tires, but that was only for your personal cars. I'm hoping that they don't have that crazy AI aim that they did in Mafia 3. So please, Hangar 13. Don't do that. Also, please patch Mafia 3 to take that out. It's so annoying. And now I have a platform to actually say it on. Before, they didn't know who the hell I was. That they still don't, let's be honest. It's obvious the Hangar 13 have gone to this with a lot of care. They do say that a lot of the original team who worked on the original Mafia are taking part in this, and I think that is incredibly important. And gives me hope for this game, because obviously they have that experience and the love and passion for that original game. This can't come soon enough. I am going to be doing another couple of videos on this, looking at different aspects of the trailer. I want to go a bit more in depth into what Hayden said, and look a bit more in detail. But this was kind of my first impressions, first thoughts on this trailer. I'm hoping you guys have watched this trailer in full. I did upload it to the channel just now. It's probably up there already, so go and look at it, go watch all 14 minutes. Unfortunately, I couldn't commentate on it because Hayden was commentating on it, and then that would have just been awkward. Anyway, I love each and every single one of you. Thank you again to 2K and Hangar 13 for entrusting me with this footage. I'm very grateful, and I absolutely can't wait to play this game. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, but until next time, that's me, out. Bye, guys.